Britain's traffic cops have many priorities.
Multitasking.
From clearing up smashes and catching motorists breaking the law,
What are you doing in there?
to arresting drink drivers and even going to the aid of stranded pets.
We've had a call from a member of the public in relation to a dog that's been left in the back of a vehicle. That Francis barking.
Yeah, go ahead. Someone's left a dog in the back of a car with no water, and the dog's obviously in some distress. Obviously, you can't believe your animal in the back of a car on a day like this with no water. It's cruel.
Dealing with animals is hardly what PC Ricky Dowell imagined he'd be doing when he decided to leave the Marines for a life in traffic.
I was looking for something that there was variation in, but I didn't want to be sat in an office, I didn't want to be sat in a factory. I wanted something where I could be outside and use some of the skills that I'd learned in the military and use them in the police.
His military training has given him an idea how to save the dog.
You can smash the window with your asp and rescue the dog, and you can be the dog saviour guy.
It's just a matter of finding it in a parked-up Mitsubishi 4x4.
Did they say it was a car park on Robert Street?
Well, I say it was actually on Robert Street.
Somewhere in Scunthorpe, aka Scunny.
It's got a bit now. I think it's the Pajero.
It should be the right one. It's a Mitsubishi Pajero.
I'll spin round.
It's a little poodle, isn't it? That was obviously a well looked after, healthy dog. But at the end of the day, couldn't leave it where it was. Hey, no. Come on. Come here. Maybe not.
The car is locked, but before settling for his commando strategy, PC Dowell's trying a bit of detective work.
I'd wager, because the car's parked here, and it's got a badge on it, that the owner and passenger are shopping in town somewhere. Before we make a decision to damage the car, we've got to explore all those avenues, because obviously we have to justify why we've caused damage, if we go down that route. A lot of the public think you're dealing with criminals all day, every day, 10 hours a day, 7 days a week. That's not always the case. We get involved in all sorts of jobs, to be honest. It really depends on what other tasks are on. But if a member of the public reports anything, whether it be a crime or a suspicious incident or a concern of welfare, then we'll attend. At the end of the day, what's happening here, it could be construed as a criminal offence, and therefore we're here for that.
Information about another possible criminal offence on the outskirts of Scunny has come in. Traffic cops PC's Graham Smaller and Darren Woodford are patrolling the area.
We got a call from ambulance control requesting assistance with a male who they thought was having a fit in his car. 2 dogs inside the vehicle with him.
It's turning into a dog day afternoon.
Well, attend and see what we got over. All we want us to do really is take the dogs out for him, isn't it?
The car's down one of the hidden lanes around here.
There's that one down there. That only goes about 100 yards, isn't it? There's no sign of an ambulance through the trees. Oh, there's this one's directly ahead. A1, show us on scene, please, with the ambulance.
Come on, what do you think?
They found you.
The report came initially of a gentleman in a car at the location who had possibly been taken ill.
There was a lorry here going down to the wharf.
Yeah.
This vehicle was in the middle of the road.
Yeah.
The guy couldn't get through and he was just stuck in the front of the vehicle.
Right.
Okay.
The ambulance crew had got him into the ambulance and they'd done their quick health checks on him and they were happy that he was physically okay.
We couldn't take him to the hospital because in the front of the vehicle he's got knows how much money.
In the ambulance.
Right. I'll just have a look in the vehicle.
The man must have come here to take his dogs for a walk or to count his money in peace.
There's an amount of cash that's strewn about the inside of the vehicle and a couple of excitable dogs.
And more significantly, there's something to explain why the man took his turn for the worse.
Aha!
He's been on a bender.
That'll do it.
Now he's going to be breath tested.
Big breath and blow.
Even though the man hasn't been seen driving his car, it's still illegal to be in charge of it when drunk.
He was heavily intoxicated. You could smell it on his breath, his eyes, dead giveaway, his speech. There was a definite incoherence as well with him.
That's it, keep going, keep going. Well, that's enough, mate, yeah.
I couldn't personally believe the result that came out. It was 145 in that region when it came through, and that's certainly the highest reading I've ever had from a driver at the roadside.
Right, so I must tell you, I'm arresting you for providing a positive roadside breath test.
That is very high. You've got to drink a lot of alcohol to have a reading of 145.
The man could even get off being drunk in charge. Who would believe he's in charge when he's too paralytic to even walk?
We had to lower him out the back of the ambulance because he couldn't cope with the steps as he tried to leave the ambulance. And then we had to guide him and support him whilst we got him the 20 yards to the back of the police car.
Oh, good lad.
Okay, and your leg up, Michael. That's
Right, let's put your seatbelt on for you.
Oh, sorry.
Just lift that elbow up for me.
Okay.
Are we in?
Can I take my dog?
You can't take your dogs with you, no. Just lift that arm up for me.
Oldest dog's name's Holly.
Right.
The younger dog's name's Lucy.
Holly and Lucy.
Yes.
Hello. Hello. Stay there. Stay there. I want to take the money out, seal it in this bag and take it with us so that it doesn't get lost and there's no allegations made against me or Graham.
Was the man ill?
Well, we've sorted it, yeah.
Because when we passed, I thought it was like that, but they thought, Trevor thought he was reading him out.
Ah, right,
So it
no.
made me feel really bad.
No, it's all right, we're sorting him out, he's okay.
The drunk is sorted, for now. There's just the problem of what to do with his dogs.
We could do with somebody, if possible, to come and sit with this gentleman's vehicle with the dogs in it until something...
You shouldn't have been left in the car. Not unless it's some water. You wouldn't do it to your kids, would you?
Thankfully, a member of the public gave us this piece of coat hanger, which is a good old trick. And all I did was put a little loop on the end and managed to force it over the locking mechanism and pulled it at an angle and it came up, thankfully. So it worked out quite well.
Hello. You're a little cutie, aren't you, eh?
Oh, where is my little dog gone? Oh, where can he be?
The little dog's owners might not be quite so pleased when they find their cutie has been dog-napped.
I wonder how the driver's going to feel when he gets back to his 4x4 and finds...
No then, Fluffy, let's come and get you a drink. Fluffy, Fluffy. There you go. Where are you, Fluffy?
With his ears cut short and his tail cut long. Oh, where is he?
They're well equipped at the police station.
Come on.
They've even got open-air cells
Come on.
for dogs.
Good girl. What will happen now is the dog remain with us for the short term until we can trace the owner and obviously give the owner the dog back once we've given them suitable words of advice and consider any prosecution which might come. It's not something that happens regularly, but it does happen quite a fair, well, too much than we'd like, to be fair. It's something that we shouldn't be having to do because people should leave the dogs at home on a nice day like today. See you later.
Oh, where is he?
The man found drinking down the lane has also been brought to the Nick in Scunny, and he's really in the doghouse.
When we arrived at Scunthorpe Police Station, we entered the detention yard at the rear. We then had the problem of removing the gentleman from the vehicle.
There you go, roll forward a bit, there you go. Keep coming.
Don't trip over that step.
Keep coming.
Had we not been there to support him, I doubt he'd been able to stand without leaning against the wall or falling over.
There you go, mate. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Oh, careful. One step, look. Whoa! You missed the first step. Alright, don't fall over, will you? I don't fancy picking you up.
There is sometimes a history of alcohol problems. And the alcohol problem sometimes takes over the whole lifestyle. There you go. It's no excuse whatsoever. They shouldn't be on the road. They could easily run into my family.
I warn you again that failure to provide either of these specimens will render you liable to prosecution. Do you now agree to provide 2 specimens of breath for analysis? Now, like we talked about...
The formalities were gone through. It took a long time because he wasn't able to speak due to his level of intoxication.
No.
Yeah.
Sorry, what was that?
Yeah.
You will?
Yeah.
So you're going to provide us 2 specimens of breath?
The 2 specimens are needed because the one taken in the ambulance can't be used in court.
Blow. Go and blow for me.
I was watching the gentleman attempting to blow into this tube, and I saw straight away that his cheeks were being sucked in.
You're not blowing, you're putting it in your mouth. All you're doing is holding it in your mouth and just doing nothing else. You're not exhaling.
The penalty for failing to provide a sample for analysis is a mandatory driving ban of at least 12 months.
Is there any reason why you didn't provide me a sample of breath?
No. I was pushing.
All you did was put it in your mouth and just held it there. You didn't do anything. Then you started sucking.
I don't know whether he was so intoxicated he was physically wasn't able to do so, or whether he'd formed that opinion that he thought he'd make it off with a lesser sentence. But with a roadside indication of 145, there's a lot of alcohol in that body that's going to affect his thinking processes as well.
Right, sit yourself on there for us and take your shoes off.
Nice.
Sleep. Thank you.
Yeah, I'll take yours off first.
Across the River Humber in Hull, the traffic cops have a rather special panda car, a supercharged Subaru, known affectionately as Scooby-Doo.
Yeah, received in relation to a white Honda Civic, which was stolen from a delivery driver.
It's being given a run out by PC Andy Stainton, who's hunting an old friend.
It's possibly in possession of what are you doing? Oh, yes.
Possible suspect driving the vehicle was I have had dealings with him before.
Confident they'll find him, the call's gone out for the police helicopter, because he's not only a well-known car thief, he's also a well-known runner.
From getting a call, we can be airborne within 2 minutes. And then it depends on the wind, how quick we get there.
Humberside Copper's chopper is a £4 million MD902 Explorer.
We can respond just about anywhere in the county within 8-9 minutes.
The man in the stolen Honda Civic has been spotted.
We were nearby, so we made our way to help and concentrate on the surround of the area.
The car's been abandoned and one person's been caught, but another is out and running.
It's very difficult to sprint with all that gear on. He hasn't come this way, probably he's gone that way then.
Even in running gear, he would be hard to catch. Luckily the wind's in the right direction and Oscar 99, the helicopter, is here.
Officers on the ground were quick to contain the area, and as the aircraft came overhead, we were asked to do a search of the area and see if we could locate anybody.
We've got the Honda SMV round the back of Beverley Road.
The man's ditched the stolen car, or SMV, along with a girlfriend, who claims she was an innocent passenger.
I've got nothing to hide. There's keys in the car, I thought the car was legal. And they just offered me a lift, so obviously I said yeah, because I've got a sign on at 12:20, and I've got a job interview.
She's only a young girl in her teens, I think, and having been thrown around the streets of the city at sort of 50, 60 miles an hour in the middle of the afternoon is not going to be very pleasant for her. Regardless of that, she was still in a stolen vehicle and has to answer certain questions anyway, which is why she was arrested.
The area on the ground has been sealed off. The man's going to be found by heat-seeking camera from above.
He's ran north, basically
parallel to Beverley Road, but within the estate area.
The thermal image camera is a very good tool. It's working on heat signatures, thermal reflection.
PC Bennett has a trick of the trade for situations like this.
If you see birds starting to fly away, then we'll zoom in and have a close look, because you're looking for the slightest thing that might give them away.
The birds have given the game away. Bennett spotted a possible heat source in the dense foliage.
There's something on your right-hand side in the bushes.
There's nothing more frustrating when somebody's hiding in bushes just about 10 feet away from officers on the ground, but they don't know that because the bush is so deep, so dense, you wouldn't think anybody would be in it.
Yeah, if you look over the bonnet of the Subaru that's next to the Civic, there's a gap in the green fence. If you can go through that gap, it's just along the shrubland. The wall on your right-hand side, if you go to the end of the wall and turn around the corner.
As soon as I heard them say he's in some bushes to the rear of the red brick building, I was fairly happy that the heat source they had picked up was going to be our man.
The bird in the bush is about to be a bird in the hand.
Come out. Come out. Come through, straight through this hedge here towards me. Straight through the hedge. As soon as you get to the hedge, put your arms out. Okay? To the floor. To the floor. Get down. Good lad. Okay, you're under arrest, suspicion of talk. You don't have to say anything about harm defence if you fail to mention a question or something later in in court. Anything you do say may be given evidence to. Understand, kidder?
The man was a sitting duck with the infrared camera overhead, but it doesn't always work out so well.
There are times when we get it wrong, and I have sent officers into mating hedgehogs twice. We've also sent officers into sleeping dogs on occasions, to which we normally have to apologise quite profusely.
Exertion Oscar 991 in custody.
Transport 3 Old Street, please. Well, lad, you got anything on you that you shouldn't have? No. I'm just going to check your pockets. Okay, what have you got? No needles or anything?
No. Good lad. It could have been a dog, could have been a cat, but where I was stood and from what I could see, I was fairly happy it was going to be him. The one who was given as a suspect.
Just going to give you the opportunity to help us in respect of recovering the car. If you've got the key, we can have the key from you. We can recover the car properly. And the owner can get it back, yeah? But you haven't got the key. Okay.
He knows nothing. How could it have been him?
If you're not involved with the incident, why are you hidden 20 feet buried in a hedge? I think he was arrested for aggravated vehicle taking, given the fact that the vehicle was damaged. So that then makes it aggravated vehicle taking, which is one step above the normal taking without owner's consent.
Nice socks, kidder.
Yeah, nice, aren't they?
Very pink. Say something.
Yes, 259 received. Thanks for your help, over. No, Roger. Exchange, if you're nothing further for us, we'll head back, get some fuel, over.
7 out of 10 of the prisoners that we get are normally the ones that would have got away.
On the south bank of the River Humber, not far from the toll bridge, are some of the largest new car storage facilities in the country. There's been a report that a vehicle has crashed into a ditch on one of the nearby roads.
We're looking for Haven Road, somewhere down here. They store about 25,000 cars a week in there, and we do get a few go missing off of there, obviously unlawfully. Ah, there we go. That's good, isn't it? The vehicle had actually left the carriageway on the near side and had actually rolled over 3 or 4 times and rested inside quite a thick tree line. So it was actually fairly well masked off the road. Obviously my first priority is I need to make sure there's nobody still trapped in the car. Yeah, I've managed to get access to the vehicle. There isn't anyone in it, and I'd say it's probably stolen off the docks. I've just recovered the package with all the chassis number, etc. on it. But it's obviously a fairly extensive impact, and the vehicle's a write-off.
There's more evidence to suggest this is another stolen car.
The seatbelts weren't in use at the time of the collision, looking at the way they're sat in the vehicle. Again, you're more thinking it's a stolen car, because Who's going to drive a brand new car when it's still got all its plastic on, so it's come straight off the dock, and not wear a seatbelt at high speed?
And there's no sign of any occupants. They must have done a runner, unless they're lying injured somewhere in the undergrowth.
Potentially somebody's bimbling about in the woods somewhere with, again, maybe potentially a serious head injury or serious neck or back injury. But the engine's still red hot, so there's obviously people somewhere around it. If you ask 99 just to do a search around the area for me. Knowing the geography in this area, I'm thinking the easiest way to locate him or her is by helicopter.
Better than beating about the bush, a refuelled Oscar 99 can go into action with its infrared camera again.
The helicopter's obviously got thermal image capability. They can use that to look inside the tree line for hot spots, because obviously thermal image of the heat from your body generates quite a high intensity heat, which the thermal imaging camera can pick up.
Although thermal image, if you're looking at somebody walking around on the streets, you can see the shape of the person quite easily. If they're hiding in bushes, it's a completely different situation. So you're looking for the slightest bit of a heat signature that you can with a good piece of equipment, because it's the actual heat signature that will give that person away.
But it's not his heat signature that's going to give this person away. It's his boss.
As that was happening, a nice new blue car pulls up. If you stand by, somebody from Peugeot company's just come to speak to me now. This one of yours?
Yes. Employee's just come back now. He got brought back by someone earlier. Ambulance just checked him out.
It's not stolen then?
It's not stolen, no. It's his company car.
Just driven like it's been stolen then?
Well, it does look that way. That's why I've come to have a look.
He was actually the supervisor of the guy who'd been involved in the collision, and he tells me that this guy's absolutely fine and he's sat in the office, doesn't need any medical treatment. So I thought, so you didn't think to call the police that you've just written a brand new car off? I thought, to be honest, I thought it was stolen.
That is a mess.
How the hell's he come off the road? There's nothing else involved.
He said he was coming down this way. No, he's coming this way. He's told me he's coming back. Oh, right. To work, so he's coming this way. There's no skid mark. No.
I think they were very surprised at the damage to the car and no damage to him. I don't think they'd expect to see it rolled over 4 or 5 times and been totally trashed.
Might as well go straight to a scrapper's, man.
Yeah. Well, you won't be putting that back on the road again.
No.
It's been on its roof.
As an expert in crashes, PC Dowell can spot the signs that explain why the car was on its roof that others can't.
He'd been going at excessive speed, lost control, and obviously as he's been trying to fight with the wheel to correct the car, the vehicle's obviously clipped the curb and started to roll over. You can look at the tyre print here. This clearly shows the point the vehicle's left the road. You can see all the snapped wood and all the snapped twigs. That indicate where the cars went off, rolled over. In order to leave the road and do that sort of damage and roll a car, that has to be done at a considerable speed. So either way, we'll have to speak to the driver, see what his account is. The driver will be breathalyzed, and then depending on what he says from there, depends on where it goes from there.
The crashed car's driver works just around the corner, although that may not be the case for long after his employers see the bill for the accident.
When you think of the amount of damage that he's caused, and then the amount of time that it's taken for the emergency services and those resources, and you've got the helicopter, which costs a huge amount of money. The cost of one of those cars, I wouldn't imagine you'd get much change at about £12,000. That's totally destroyed that car. What, on the face, it would seem a minor collision, in excess could have cost £40,000, £50,000, if not more.
The driver's expensive afternoon is about to get worse. It's apparent he's been drinking.
As soon as I've been introduced to a driver, I can smell intoxicating liquor, absolutely straight away. As soon as he opened the door, I could smell it and I thought, he's drunk. I've requested a roadside breath test, which he's failed, given a roadside reading of 136, which is almost 4 times over the drink drive limit. The majority of people couldn't function with that much alcohol in the system. But he was there at work, as if nothing's happened. Yeah, can I help you? No problem.
The man's got no problem with the intoximeter machine either, just with what it confirms he's had to drink.
I think the evidential reading for that was 119 and 113. So he's still 3 times over. When I breathalyzed him and he blew 136, that was actually almost an hour after the collision. So you have to think, how high would his actual reading have been when he was actually driving that car? Obviously significantly higher than 136. We can't charge you with that offence because you're drunk, basically, all right? So what will happen is you have to go in a cell for a couple of hours until you're sober enough for us to charge you. When the custody sergeant deems it's sober enough to charge, he'll be charged with driving while sober prescribed limit. It'll be a minimum of 1 year's ban, possibly 2. If you're prepared to get behind the wheel when you've got that much booze inside you, I mean, absolutely anything could have happened there. I just can't believe the morals of some people that are prepared to put other people at risk.
When the man who crashed into the ditch and blew 3 times the limit appeared in court, he was given a 12-month suspended prison sentence and banned from driving for 28 months. But the man who was unable to blow into the intoximeter machine at all didn't lose his licence. Instead, it was endorsed with 10 points and he was fined £250. And he was able to keep Holly and Lucy. The runner plucked out of the hedge was sent to prison for 4 months for disqualified driving and aggravated vehicle taking. No action was taken against his passenger. And the owners of the poodle didn't get prosecuted for leaving it unattended. They were reunited with their cutie, but only after reporting it had been stolen.